Apparently I'm just disconnected in that game, and that's why his daring was firing at the position of the Mosca. That's kind of weird. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to have my ship continually fire at the position of the enemy and just start, you know, no, it's like, oh yeah. That's an interesting mechanic of disconnection, I must say. Switch got left on. Alright, see if I can find a game 3, yeah. What can I jump into? Let's jump into this room. Let's see if there's a game 3 happening. If we just jump into random rooms, we might get dragged in. That's the easiest way to look at it. So there's potential for NTT versus Oh Boy. What are the other 2 games that are currently happening right now? We have NTT versus Oh Boy. We have Resin versus Throw, which I can't really do, and we have Paid versus AND, or Alive and Dry, sorry. Let me go check what's happening with the maps. Oh Boy 1-0 against NTT. Resin 1-up against Throw. Paid a 1-up against Alive and Dry. Alright, Prowess. We're going to be going into P4ID versus Alive and Dry. Looking like we have a game 3, so... First one's for Paid. Hang on a second. Alright, Paid versus Alive and Dry. Map 1, Northern Waters, won by Paid. Map 2, Line of Fire. About to happen. Okay, got it. Okay, so... P4ID 1, Alive and Dry, reset Team A, reset Team B, Paid 1-0 up. Which side are Paid on? Paid on red team, green team. Sorry. Reset maps. We had Northern Waters was already won, and then map 2 is Land of Fire, which is TBD, and then map 3 is Shatter if we get to there. So yeah, this is a game 2 that we're about to jump into, so yeah. Cool. I see we have moved from the undistributed gross Kerfus in the middle of the spectators to undistributed United States in the middle of the spectators. What a progression World of Warships has made. No more do we have the rental gross Kerfus in the middle of the undistributed players. Now we have United States instead. The entire United States. Spectators are an interesting bunch. Oh look, we have a guy riding up in a Königsberg, saying he doesn't speak English. Bringing in their ringers. Anyway, let's get ready for game 2 of this series, which is a thing. Allegedly. Boo. Anyway. At least I assume it's alive and dry. Hang on, let me actually put you onto the best of 3 scene. You know, the thing that I set up, because, like, you know. Yeah. It means you get a look at, like, you get a look at the amazing artwork of these teams. I have no idea what that says on the hat. Hang on, let me zoom in. Preview scaling. Canvas. Paid actor gaming. Understandable. With a PayPal icon. Alright, we have 9 out of 9 ready on both teams. We should be dropping any second, right? Alright, apparently we're waiting on, like, another streamer to arrive because we only have 8 and, like, you know, we need another 10. Clearly. We need 10 streamers. Alright, we're in. Or we will be. Soon. Right, game number 2 of this best of 3 series, even though we've only casted 1 game and we're in a second series, is basically... So this is going to be like the second game that we're casting today, but it's also going to be the second game of this series. So if you really want to pretend, you can pretend that this paid is the paid from the other game, and this is actually... that, and they won it, because it was Northern Waters as well. And you can pretend that it was game 1 of this series. That's what you can pretend. Anyway, let's get into the game. So, this game paid, paid with a 4. Are going to be running Ohio, Gross-Kurfa, Salem, Moscow, Hindenburg, Grozavoy, Daring, and they're going to be met by Alive and Dry running in Ohio, Conqueror, Salem, Moscow, Minotaur, Khabarovsk, Daring. Special thing about Khabarovsk is it's 50mm armor belt plating, and I'm going to go check if that's going to be the classic heal Khabarovsk or a smoke Khabarovsk. This is in fact a heal Khabarovsk, so he's not going to be doing any sort of like, I'm going to go somewhere really fast with a smoke screen kind of stuff. I suppose if you want to do that, that's what Grozavoy is for. You know, he goes really, really fast. He has an engine boost and stuff. Anyway, let's take a look at some builds. I want to specifically, let's go check out the build on the Grozovoy. See what he's running. He's going to be running Superintendent and Swift and Silence along with the Legendary module. And I'm really interested in checking out this Khabarovsk build as well. Our man with the smoke screen with the heal over here. He's going to be running Concealment, AFT, Rudder mod, Engine mod. It's a mishmash of everything. He's also going to be taking Superintendent for the extra heal / speed boost. Instantly dropping a speed boost anyway. Alright, what else we got here? We've got Salem, who is the worst Des Moines apparently, which apparently Salem is the worst Des Moines class cruiser. Well, there's only 2 of them in the game, so, you know, it's not really saying much, but yeah, he's going to be running a relatively standard build. You're going to be running a Reload mod. Just hope him sit there and do some DPM and out heal anyone he's trading with. We got the Ohio behind him, relatively standard tank build, nothing too fancy, no secondary action in there. We got this Conqueror who's going to be running fire prevention and concealment and vigilance plus brisk. Not taking the extra heal on the Conqueror, which kind of limits it a little bit. I think the 4th heal might help you occasionally, but you know. Moscow here going to be running the Legendary module, pretty standard build. Also going to be running a Vetchkin for the improved survivability expert. Wait, is that a Vetchkin? I think that is a Vetchkin, yeah. Then we got Daring running relatively standard build. We've got here Salem running, again, very standard builds. Nothing too extreme in these ones. Minotaur, let's take a quick look. That is, in fact, a Radar Minotaur, and he's going to be running a very standard build, surprisingly enough. Alright, this Daring here, going to be dropping an early smoke screen standard build. Salem behind it, you know, nothing fancy. Grozovoy, can we get around the side of this island pretty early? He's going to be meeting up with that Khabarovsk. The Khabarovsk should win any gunfight that potentially breaks out between the 2 of them, with a combination of the fact that this guy's running Swift and Silence and the fact that the Khabarovsk has a 50mm armored belt. The Khabarovsk should win most of that brawl. Back over here we have Moskva, Legendary module. We have Gross-Kerr first. It was going full tank, no secondary action. Also running Vigilance as well. Vigilance on more than a few players at the minute. Ohio back here, you know, standard tank, and Legendary module, and Reload mod. Yeah, so Hindenburg, Reload mod. Yeah, that's it. Well, that's about everyone's build. I hope that was enough. Let's go have a look at the deployments now. So, over the A-Cap, Grozovoy, Moskva, Kerfers, B-Cap, Salem, Daring, and Ohio hovering between BC. Then we have Daring, Hindenburg, Moskva over at C-Cap for the green team. Red team, however, are going to be running Khabarovsk at A-Cap along with Salem and Ohio, going to be making their way in towards it now. We can have a Minotaur and Daring combination behind this rock at B, who are currently sitting there hiding for their lives because there's an Ohio waiting to murder them. And then we've got Moskva, Conqueror, Daring, Salem over at the C-Cap. Now, the farming has begun from the Moskva-Hindenburg combination along with the Daring spotting for them, so the Moskva here is going to be suffering a little bit. Who needs to try and get himself disengaged somehow, or get the Wet Dead Redemption. I like that. I like that. It's alive and dry, Wet Dead Redemption. Yeah, okay, cool. He needs to get in a position to deny the spotting from Lunatic. Now, we see some crossfire coming in as well from the Salem of Rotation Addiction, who's actually going to be raining down pretty hard. Daring somewhere took a little bit of chip damage. Ah, yeah, the paid Klutz just north of the B-Cap took a little bit of chip damage, brawling there with Jaina and Mother of Drago. But yeah, Mentor Seraphim in the Moscow here is definitely looking like the weak link about to be farmed out. It's a slow burn currently, but I think that's unless they find a solution to this problem, probably involving this Daring repositioning over here, they're going to have an issue. Moscow Raider comes out from Captain Obvious. We'll be picking up Wet Dead Redemption. He will be taking a fair bit of chip damage. He does have all 3 heals available. He will get some of this back. Lunatic, on the other hand, is sitting there in smoke screen completely for free. Being, well, I say completely for free. He's taking a little bit of chip damage back from blind fire. He's got blind fire. Ohio salving it. Salvo coming in towards the Daring. Will not do very much either. But, right, the Daring of Wet Dead is now deciding, right, I need to leave now. I've lost a bit of health. I can go lick my wounds, come back in a bit. Radar coming out from whatever the hell ship. I think this is the Moskva, next to the Gross-Kerr first. They're doing the classic. Yep, the ablative armor technique, except there's a massive gap in between them. Usually you want to be right pressed up against it. Usually you do this as a Kremlin, who's a much flatter broadside, so you can just go slam right against him, because there's still going to be a little bit of a gap here. But at the minute, he's not actually spotted, so it's not the end of the world. They will be radaring the Khabarovsk on the way in, so they know exactly what they're up against, but they don't know where this Ohio Salem are necessarily. I don't think the Salem's been spotted yet. The Ohio's been spotted. He's currently spotted now. Radar from the Salem comes out. We'll be picking up Jaina in the daring, and this little DD brawl is going to get a little bit messy. Yeah. Moskva and Kurfürst making their way into the A-cap, forcing the Khabarovsk back. Khabarovsk still... No, he's not contesting this. So A-cap will be flipped, and that'll be our first cap advantage. Points will start coming in. And with the push here of the Kurfürst Moskva, that'll secure the Salem's position. It will make it a lot easier for him to reverse if he gets into trouble against this daring Minotaur, but it's also going to mean that he's having a lot easier time farming on this Moskva. Because with this daring being forced so far away from this cap currently, this Salem's not going to be spotted firing, and this guy in the Ohio is not going to be able to get the cross shot onto him. Because this daring here is being forced so far back. And this Khabarovsk, Ohio, are being forced back as well by this Gross Kurfürst. It's not exactly like a rushable target either. The Khabarovsk does have decent rush potential, but against the Kurfürst and Moskva there, it could be difficult. Let's take a look back over at what's happening at the C-cap. Moskva radar did come out from Mentor Seraphim there, who managed to get himself unfarmed, but now the Moskva's getting back on him. We do see the Hindenburg has managed to advance himself all the way down to Fidget Spinner Island here on the 10 line. He's about to run face first into a Salem. Things could get very messy over here soon. If one of them tries to make a breach around the island, hang on, do they both have like their detection methods available? They both have their hydras ready. Neither of them are currently using them. I think they're both blind to each other. Alright, this is the first time that Salem's been detected all game. And now the Hindenburg is spotted in return, and oh my lord, everything's coming out right now. So the Hindenburg has two options here. He can either go for the rush onto the Salem, or he can beach himself behind this rock. If he doesn't do either of those, he's going to be sat and getting farmed. He did take a big hit from the Conqueror there on the way in. Salem here doesn't really want to mess about with the Hindenburg, because the Hindenburg does have a lot of torpedoes. However, if the Hindenburg tries to come for him, Salem has the improved auto-bounce angles on his armor piercing, and he needs to make sure he gets the kill. Is he going for it? Are we doing things? He can't stop now. He's going for it. Oh dear, that's some citadels. Right, where are the torps? Where are the torps? Where are the torps? More citadels. Where are the torps? He has the torps. He jumps them really early. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4. He doesn't get the kill. He doesn't get the kill. Is he going for the other set of torps? He's got two more racks on the other side. Salem's just going to sit there and heal us if he doesn't get the kill here. Monkey Business goes down, doesn't get the other rack of torps off. Now the Salem is just, alright, I'm going to go up now. So Salem's going to be able to advance up to the next island, and then definitely able to put some pressure onto this Moskva here, which means that this Daring's position is now compromised, because the Moskva can advance up to here, and the Conqueror can advance up to here, and that should give them full control of C. However, they still need to make a break to get back into either A or B. They have the Minotaur there, and with the positioning up here, they should be able to get some farming back onto the Salem, potentially get the cross drop, like get a drop on from this Ohio onto that Salem. But for now, all the focus is on the right-hand side. So the idea for Paid is to just delay this as long as possible. They're taking on 2 caps right now. They're taking on 1 cap, because apparently at some point during all of this, the Salem made a jump into that cap, and like at some point during all, like this Gross Curve probably just walk around the corner onto his face at some point. Seems like a dangerous position to be in for the worst of minds here. Some might even call it the worst position. He's now being farmed by a Grozavoy as well. So it's definitely not a tenable position. Especially not now that the Ohio of Moyniskov is going to be just cross-shotting him as well. Yeah, this is not the best Salem position. There's also torpedoes here. He's permanently hydro-locked by the Moskva, Kurfürst, hydros, and the Moskva's radar for any potential downtime in this, which means that he's going to be free-farmed by this Grozavoy. He's going to be Crush, like, this Ohio's going to be looking to drop him. This Salem's going to be looking for shots on him. And at any point during this, the Gross Curve can just walk around the corner and do him. But he's blocking points for now. Back over at C, we do see that this advancement has happened. The Moscow's made the jump across this island right now, dropped his radar. We see that Salem's gone across, made that jump up the island top. He's now on the side of that Moskva. Conqueror's pushed up to here. We have the Great Daring, the Lunatic, now caught in the radar of the Moskva in front of Daring and Conqueror and Salem. Captain Obvious in his Moskva has he turned bow in towards the Salem? Yeah, he is bow in towards the Salem. So Salem should theoretically win this fight unless he gets a bit of support. Although he did lose a lot of health from those torpedoes, which is unrepairable, so the Moskva should be should actually win this, actually. Like, normally in a Salem versus Moskva 1v1, the Salem would have the advantage because he took so much damage from the, so much unhealable damage from the Hindenburg. He might lose this fight against the Moskva here. But he can still, like, just AP the turrets out and just ruin his day. So Wet Dead Redemption should be able to get himself back into the sea cap here, take this, and that should stem the bleeding a little bit, but there will still be a one cap advantage at B temporarily. B is still blocked, and the Kurfürst hasn't walked around the corner yet. Doesn't look like he's going anytime soon either, are you? No, he's not going anymore now, especially not with the advanced position of this Ohio, who just seems to be, what's the word I'm looking for here? Inting? Inting. He's also going to be focusing the GK rather than the Moskva through the bow. I mean, the GK is on 25,000 health versus the Moskva's 57, but there is definitely the potential for using the overmatch ability of the Ohio to aim for the top half of the Moskva's bow. Just go for sits through the bow. That might be an easier kill. Don't know. B-cap, Kavarovsk has made his way towards it, and there's the potential for a rush. He's not, he's turning. There's the potential for this, at some point, this Kavarovsk can go for a rush on the Salem. Definitely possible. Like, Salem does have the AP that'll go straight through that Kavarovsk belt and arm because it's 50mm. Meanwhile, back over here, Moskva and Salem apparently had a little bit of a brawl and, yeah, decided that they didn't want to do it anymore. So now they're hydroing each other. There's a stream of daring single-fire conga line torpedoes that were aimed for the Salems that this Conqueror is now having to dodge. But in a second, so those torpedoes have all now expired. Now the Conqueror comes over. He should be able to finish off this Moskva. Ohio, on the other hand, not in a position to do anything about that. And the Ohio kills the Kurfürst. I guess combined firepower with the secondaries and the superstructure would do that for him. So Salem's now going to be able to poke his bow a little bit forward. He should be able to, like, you know, provide some dissuasive fire on that Grozvoy, and the Ohio should be able... Okay, actually, no, the Salem's just going to go around face first. That's not what I would do, personally. Ohio... Sorry, the Moskva's not actually going to get the citadels that he was looking for, though. Really, it's a bit too long. I'm not sure if the Salem's going to go for a ram here or what, but he has a little bit of a Grosser Kurfürst wreck to work his way past, and the Grozvoy is going to be APing in it with broadside, and that's not something you want to sneeze at. The Grozvoy AP is not the worst thing in the world. Meanwhile, the bouncing shipwreck of the GK going to be absorbing a few shells here. Looks like the Moscow's going to secure the ram. Doesn't want to risk anything. Wants to at least get the trade. And that might. So the Grozvoy should be able to win this fight against the Ohio. Played well. Although, actually, saying that, he is running Swift and Silence, which is going to take a junk out his reload, but at the same time, he does have the legendary module. Back at the back here, Moskva of Captain Obvious does get burned down by that Conqueror that we were talking about there. That push did happen. This daring Lunatic is now caught out. And all of a sudden, we have a serious situation developing for PID. They are running out of ships rapidly. Now, the health advantage isn't unwinnable. It's an 80k deficit, basically a 2 times deficit. But there are a lot of low health ships here that are pick-offable. It's just getting to them in one piece. So the Ohio has kill potential on the Salem once the smoke screen. Actually, he doesn't have kill potential, really. He's being forced back by the Salem and the smoke screen there. I think the only kill potential right now is this Grozvoy needs to be trying to get something done to this Ohio. The Ohio doesn't have any heals left, so any damage you get on him is permanent. He's currently got no damage con available, so any fires that... I think you just go for the fires at the minute, but yeah. So shots come out from the Ohio towards the Salem of rotation addiction. That's going to be a slight issue. Grozvoy still not... Grozvoy now chooses to open up. He knows the Ohio doesn't have shots for a while yet. Kavarovsk, on the other hand, does have shots. He's going to be looking for some counter-firing. But yeah, Ohio down to 21,000 and burning. 7 seconds until the next damage control, though, so you should be able to extinguish those fires. Maybe go dark, try not to get involved in a further fire. Khabarovsk needs to not go behind that island when he pushes out here. Ohio being first, further and further back, being permanently spotted by this daring. He's going to have to sit there and try. He's got. Props his Damacon is going to have the heal coming out, but the Moskva is now just too much of a threat to him. And also, the Conqueror is just burning away at his back end. The other Ohio just has to run, and he's not going to be able to get very far. Daring goes down at the Khabarovsk. Unforced, I guess the Daring just like got ran down. Because Daring is a much slower ship than Khabarovsk, and Grozovoy looks like he's been losing this trade against the Ohio. It's all gone a little bit pear-shaped for Paid. There's a couple of things that I think went a little bit wrong in this battle that could have, with the benefit of, you know, observer camera and being able to see literally everything. Hindenburg needed to commit to the rush, not do what was known as a no cap YOLO. He did a full U-turn. If he just went straight around down the 10 line, he could have dumped all of his torps off into Salem's broadside, guaranteed the kill, potentially survived it. Would have made things a bit differently. The Grosse Kurfürst over here could have went around the corner straight onto the face of the Salem. Sure, you'd have to dodge some torpedoes, but you got Hydro. That would have allowed you to pick off the Salem. The Moscow came out with you, and you could have potentially got some sort of play going on this side. Instead, you've lost your Grosse Kurfürst to just an Ohio to the face, when you could have just sent the Grosse Kurfürst bow in towards the Ohio, shot the Salem through the face, maybe gone for a ram on the Ohio or something. Meanwhile, B-Cap, like, their Salem was locked in place forever. He did get, like, a fair bit of damage onto this, but they just couldn't get any conversions over here. Just losing this, losing the Salem here, sorry, losing the Hindenburg here meant that the Moscow position was completely compromised, which meant all of this was compromised as well. More than a few things went wrong for this. Anyway, let's head over to our friend in the Daring here, who was just, you know, sorry, our friend in the Grozovoy, who's still trying to gunboat the rest of this Ohio. Has indeed waited for the Damacon to be ready again, and then will go down to the Khabarovsk. So that'll be 1-1 in this series. So, that was my post-game analysis there, because we had enough time to do our post-game analysis during all that. So, next map's going to be Shatter, which is using the slightly different layer that we normally use for Shatter. It's the one that we used in the last COTS, actually. So I guess this is the new layout that we use for Gump, I guess. But yeah, that's the one. So basically, compared to last time, this was available in Classic. The two caps at the sides, compared to random battles, the two caps have moved slightly further out. Let's bring it up on full screen here. 1 second. Next map is indeed going to be Shatter. Let's change that there. So as you can see, the A cap has moved slightly further to the left, the C cap has moved slightly further to the right, which means that you don't have as much hydro control locked into this island over A. If you want that cap, you have to actually commit a ship into it. You can't just sit in both of these being in safety from either side of it. Meanwhile, over at A, you can commit to an island with a hydro destroyer and just sit on top of it. However, it's going to have to do a little bit of wiggling, shall we say. A little bit of wiggling. Alright, looks like the teams are being moved around here, so it looks like we're going to have a side swap. So I'm going to press a button here, and then I'm going to have to press some other buttons to fix what it didn't fix. Alright, let's have a look here. So we're on, okay, so Paid 1 map 1, A&D 1 map 2. I'm going to press the switch sides button, which is this. Boom. Why have I been yeeted from the training room? Question mark. Hang on a second. Uh... I was yeeted from the training room. It looks like the training room had an issue. It needs to be fixed. Right, anyway, let me just switch back to this team layout. There we go. I was just moved to Team B. I'm not playing. Don't worry. Alright, so we've got to get everybody back in the room, which might take a few minutes. And then after that, we have our... Alright, so our second series doesn't start for another 30 minutes, so we should be good going from this game straight to the next one, as long as nothing explodes on the way. With our second game of the day being... question mark? Shaft versus Oh Boy. Oh, spreadsheets are complicated. Yeah, we're just waiting for everybody to get back in here. Alright, players are coming in slowly and surely. Right, so for game 3, Paid are actually going to be on the green team. Which means that I need to... God damn it. Alright. Switch teams. Go. Boosh. Right. Okay, so. This, there. Okay. Honestly, I hate training rooms. They're a nightmare. I also hate the COT Stream Helper application. It needs an update, honestly. Actually, I don't know what the bans are in this series either. Like, that's the banned ships from the previous season. I should probably, like, go fucking check what the actual banned bloody ships are for this, because I'm... Yeah. Alright, hang on. What's the banned ships? Clever and Des Moines. And the banned Des Moines. Add image, clan logo A, Okay. Add image. File logo B. Ah, shit. Oh, I made this 22 pixels, Sorry, actually. Up to 22. What's the size of it, though? I have no idea. 941. About that-ish. 941, 22. Yeah, it's about the same size. Understandable. Oh, thank you for the raid, honey. Wait. Apparently Henning's been streaming. It was like, ah yes, he's going to stream instead of casting with me, because yes. Oh, come on, can we get everybody in here now? I would like to actually, like, you know, get the game going. Because our next game starts at 30, like, on the hour, so I would like to get started before that. Can we, like, get in some gameplay? Alright, we have 8 out of 9 players from live right here. Alright, we're going. Game number 3 of this best of 3 series. Finally, it's only taken 6 years. Alright, here we go. Clever and Des Moines are our banned ships on this 3rd game of the series. So, paired in this game, going to be running Kremlin, Republic, Salem, Moscow, Shimakaze, Gearing, Grozovoi, Daring. Meanwhile, A&D going to be running Ohio, Kurfürst, Worcester, Moscow, Gearing, double Khabarovsk and a Daring. Alright, okay, that's the thing. They're running double Khabarovsk. Hello, what, hello? Hello or no? What? Alright, let's go look at some builds. We have some builds to look at. Alright, let's go look at these Khabas. Like, I want to know what the hell you're doing here. So we have one Khabarovsk who's going to be running, rudder mode, concealment. The other Khabarovsk is going to be running Fearless Brawler and no Adrenaline Rush. Okay, that's some build variance, I guess. That's okay. And they're both running heal mod. Yeah, they're both running heals. Alright, that's a thing. Okay, meanwhile, Gearing, going to be running no Legendary module. Going to be running a Survivability Expert, no Superintendent. We have a Daring with a relatively standard build. We have Moskva here with Legendary module, and Ovechkin. We have a Wooster here with Survivability Expert, so that will be Ovechkin as well. Because, you know, multi-state, because he's Russian and American captain. The other Woosters, that's 2 Woosters and 2 Kappas in the same team? What is this? Alright, whatever. Ohio, full tonk, with the secondary module in slot 3. Kerfurst with the legendary module and secondaries. And I am, yes, okay. I am, okay, ready for gameplay. Meanwhile, over on paid, we have Grozovoy going to be running legendary module, Swift and Silence. We have the Gearing, who's going to be running legendary module. No Superintendent. We have Moskva going to be running legendary modules for Ability Expert. Ovechkin. Salem going to be running Ovechkin. Moskva going to be running. That one's running Nemensky. Honestly, if you take Survivability Expert, you may as well use Ovechkin as well. Then we have Kremlin here, who is running full tonk. Back over here. We've already checked out that side. This Daring head in the middle, relatively standard build. Actually, going to be running torpedoes in slot 3. Sorry, Shimakaze, no legendary module. Going to be running torpedoes in slot 6 and 3. No Swift and Silence, and he's going to be backed up by this Republic, who's running no Brisk. No Brisk. We don't do Brisk here apparently. But he is going to be running. Which command is this? John Jackson Huno? He's running Huno. Yeah. Alright, that's enough of the builds. Let's have a look at the deployments. Over at the ACAP, we're going to be sending for the green team a Grozovoy, Gearing, Salem, Moskva, and a Moskva Kremlin behind that. The Moskva Kremlin might decide they want to run through B in a minute. Daring is definitely going to B, and then over at C, it's just a Shimakaze Republic as a kiting force. It's going to be slightly painful to push into, especially when the... So, I'm not sure how well the Republic's going to be able to deal with the Khabarovsk just raining down upon him, especially with the Moskva and Kerf as support firing. But yeah, over at ACAP, we have Kava, Gearing, Worcester. B-Cap, we have Daring, Worcester, Ohio, and C-Cap, we have GK, Moskva, and Khabarovsk. I don't really know what the early deployment is going to look like here, but we have Grozovoy, who has not been spotted with a lot of blind fire coming in towards him, with the RPF pinging us. They know he's in the cap because it's currently ticking, and they know approximately where it... Wait, who's running RPF? Anybody running RPF? No. Gearing's got RPF on, and I suppose as one of these two got RPF as well. Yeah, the Daring. So the Daring, both pinging where their RPF is at, and then you get a very precise read on where to be aiming your shells. A little bit of communication. It's like, alright, he's here. Okay, ping. You triangulate his position. You stop firing exactly there. Although saying that, he's probably actually got his RPF on that, but yeah, still. Shouldn't be that hard to figure out where he is. What else we got here? This Worcester at B-Cap took a little bit of chip damage here. I'm not sure exactly from what. Must have been Kremlin, I guess? Yeah, it must have been Kremlin. How is this push doing over at C? Well, it's not, apparently. But this Kerfurst is looking to go on an adventure. However, he's got a Daring here waiting for him. And Daring just goes, yeah, single fire torpedo is a big threat. It's like all 10 of those torpedoes hit that GK probably goes down, depending on how the saturation works out. If you catch him, depends where you catch him. If you catch him on midships, he dies. If you get him on the bow, maybe not. Although if you get him partially on the bow and the rest of midships, that's even worse for him. Saturation's a weird beast. Right, Khabarovsk and Moskva making their way forward. So I think what you can do with this combination here is you can have the Khabarovsk go out in front of the Moskva at a certain distance, like the Khabarovsk concealment, and then the concealment. So when the Khabarovsk declares that he's spotted, he calls for the Moskva's radar, and then they have the gunpowder potential to shoot at this Shaman. Get a fair bit of chip damage on him, because you say, all right, my concealment is 7 kilometers or 9 kilometers. I stay 3 kilometers in front of the Moskva. When I get spotted, I, call for the radar, and he's at exactly 12. So you can adjust that a little bit. Alright, speaking of torpedoes, Ghost occur first did manage to eat one there? Yeah, he takes one in that set, on the first set there, because it's a group of 4. So that was a Shimmer torpedo. It's quite painful. And he still has the Kremlin and Moscow on the side of him. He's going to be shooting at that Kremlin as well. But it's a Kremlin. It's not going to take that much damage, especially not at that angle. Not much else happening here. Over on the one line, we have 2 angry smoke screens yelling at each other. I think I favour the Salem in this situation, personally. Although the Worcester has a nice farming position on the Moskva, so the Moskva's going to be suffering a little bit from this. Points currently ticking in favour, heavily in fact, of paid with both A and B ticking. Radar comes out from the Worcester at B cap, will be picking up that daring and does have a nice angle on him. They should be able to get a lot of exit damage here before he manages to get to safety, especially if he beaches on this rock here, but... Oh no. Oh no. Ooh. Okay, he gets past the rock, but that's he still has to turn back across the fire from the Worcester. Double fire, currently burning, no damage control available. It goes down, just gets plain caught out there. Neither Worcester was there. He'd been spotted, he'd been damaged. I just disrespected it. So that's going to even up the points a little bit, bring it back within 80. Worst of mine in the Worcester here is going to be spotted full broadside at that Salem, who does have, like, you know, AP shells that hurt. Yeah, like that. The worst of mine there is actually in a Worcester this time, so, you know, it's another American ship. I don't think it's a Des Moines class, though. Now he has the Moskva AP to worry about as well. I mean, honestly, I think he's, like, over the worst of it now. He should be able to get dark on this border. He just has to dodge these torpedoes, and gliding along the border can make this awkward sometimes at best. Oh god, there's a YOLO happening. I've missed a YOLO. Yeah, so yeah, Khabarovsk just YOLO'd a Kremlin. That happened. But now the Khabarovsk is, like, very overcommitted, and has, like, no escape plan, right? Right. Grozovoy smokes up. He's going to be blind firing at the Grozovoy. The Grozovoy has shots back because Moscow's hydroing. Khabarovsk has this belt, so he's switching to AP, going for the belt now. Going for full pens on him. Aiming quite low. Knocks out the engine. 9,000 health. Now the Khabarovsk turns in, so you have to switch back to the HE, aim for the top of the ship. Go for the superstructure damage. Catches the fire on him. Khabarovsk forced to damage control. Where's he going to go down, though? I mean, that's a trade, I guess. You trade the Khabarovsk for the Kremlin? I think I'd rather have the Kremlin, to be honest with you. Gearing's going to be spotting each other here on the one line. Salem and Worcester both going to be directing their salvos towards the opposing destroyer. And neither really going to be getting much out of it. So the farming goes back towards the Moskva now. So B cap has now been unlocked with the death of the Kremlin. A cap has just been slowly worked towards. They've thrown Ohio into it. That kind of worked for them. And over at the C cap, they've just decided, all right, we're going to push everything forward and cap it with a Khabarovsk. Because apparently, the Republic and the Shimakaze can't hold back a Moskva and Khabarovsk. Okay. I think the Repub should have been in a much more aggressive position here. Like, I don't see what they're holding back for so much. Like, they could easily be over here and actually get some damage going on the Moskva. Because the Moskva should, like, you know, be hurting from the Repub. Instead, they're in a position where the Repub's managed to get farmed by the Worcester. There's no reason for him to be in a position to be farmed by this Worcester when he could be over here just, you know, gaining ground. Kerfa is coming through the middle, and now we're going to be raining into the bow of that Moskva. And, you know, overmatch is a thing. Just go straight through the deck, I think. The deck of the stern, I think. Meanwhile, Worcester farming A&D all over this Moskva here. He needed to be at a different island a while ago. He needed to, like, reverse out and then recommit at this, like, at a stage here. Instead, he's just being farmed by this. Like, once you realize your Moskva is a target of farming, don't just sit there at the island. Just say, I'm going to die here. I need to reposition somewhere else. Turn, like, back here into the middle or something. I don't know. Find another angle on something. So he pops says, I'm going to die. Radar doesn't really detect much at all. I think they find the gearing for a split second, but yeah, he's just been farmed the entire time. You can't just sit there in front of a smoke screen with a Worcester in it and a Moscow. You are going to melt. And the smoke screen coverage from the opposing Salem plus gearing was more over here, so it wasn't actually blocking the line of sight on the Moscow too. Grozvoy drops his smoke screen. They no longer have line of sight on the opposing gearing, who is currently on fire, I think. Which means that they have potentially just threw away the kill there. They could have probably got a lot more damage on that with a combination of Salem plus gearing plus Grozvoy on that. They might have been able to connect that. In fact, these torpedoes might do something spicy. Torpedo connects on the board. He would be dead, actually. Does he still have damage control? Damage control still burning. There was a kill on the Moskva. The Kurt first there just a minute ago as well, and honestly this is just completely gone WND's way. AND's way. Moscow does take a Shimakaze torpedo, and those are painful torpedoes, but the Repub once again not in a position to convert this. He got farmed quite heavily by the Worcester, and now he's just shooting the HE at the... shooting the HE is fine, I guess. You know, he is going to catch some fires on him. Because he does know that the Shimmer forced the Damacon. I don't know what happened to all the Shimmer's HP. Did he just get ran down? Must have just got ran down, caught by a Moscow radar at some point, and then Khabarovsk opened up on him. Triple fire currently burning on the Moscow, though. That's a painful experience. Has no damage control available for 30 seconds, either. Repub force behind that rock. That should be enough. Like, the Moscow should be able to survive this, right? Unless another fire comes out, in which kind I don't even know anymore. Yeah, you know, actually, he is suffering. I think the Shimakaze might be able to try and yoink that kill at the end. Back over at the one line, though, see if there's anything available here. It looks like the... Alright, yeah, that was from the torpedo that he took. I mean, they've probably called out that this torpedo hit, right? So they can say, alright, the Worcester... the gearing is super low. In fact, no, they're not interested in the gearing, though. They're going for this Ohio. Yeah, Grozvoy gets spotted by the opposing Daring, gets absolutely slapped for it. Repub picks up the kill on the Moskva. And now Gearing is kind of on his own here. He's dropped the smoke screen for the Salem, but the Salem has to worry about the fact that there's like an Ohio right there. And now they're able to rotate the Worcester Daring combination off of B to come over, and now there's like double Worcesters that the Salem has to contend with, and the Gearing is diving straight on into them. So he might be able to get the 1-for-1 against the opposing Gearing. Like he should be able to get like a quick tap on him. You know, just 2,000 damage. That's 1-2 salvos. There's one. Doesn't actually get very much off it at all. 785. And he needs to not overcommit there because the Worcester is now about to come out. So he needs to get dark. And alright, so Worcester radar comes out. And he has no protection. The Gearing has no protection. He's got the Daring coming in from one side. The Salem isn't in a position to deny this, so he's going to get 1-for-1. You might be able to get chip damage back on something. Yeah, you might get some chip damage back on the Daring, but that's a very dead Gearing here. Worcester radar comes out as well. He's going to be looking for the Salem in the smoke, and this is just over. Gearing goes down. Torpedoes? Question mark? Torpedoes? He does get the torpedoes off on the Worcester? But it's not going to be enough. There's still like an Ohio there. It's Salem versus Worcester, Ohio, and Daring still. And Repub Shimmer aren't really exactly having very much fun with the Khabarovsk. And that's not even including the fact there's a Kurfürst that still exists. Salem going to go down. Ohio to the face. This just leaves 2 lone warriors back up here. 24 seconds left on the clock. Repub being HE farmed down by the Khabarovsk. Shimakaze going to be opening up now. And with the Republic going around the corner, he no longer has vision on it. Yeah. I mean, if he'd used that smoke screen a little while earlier, he might be able to get some damage on the Khabarovsk. But it is a Khabarovsk. You're still shooting at a Khabarovsk with a Shimakaze and 50mm bell. It's just not going to go well. Congratulations to WND who will take the series... Sorry, AND who will take the series 2-1. Alright, let's get ready to get into our next game. I am supposed to be in a game, like, very soon, so I'll get everything set up.